Hi everyone, we're Team 9 and we'll be presenting our term project which focuses on the World Happiness Score. In this presentation, we'll discuss our motivation and value proposition, data, model, as well as user interface. This quote from the UN is our motivation. We live in an age of stark contradictions. These days, many countries have been able to achieve economic development while enjoying technologies of sophistication. But at the same time, new crises of depression, suicide, and other significant societal problems also have begun to arise. Looking at this contradiction, it is very clear that basic economic needs are no longer the main drivers of human happiness. So our decision support system is trying to solve the lack of understanding of how various factors affect human happiness. We came up with two main design objectives, which are 1. To provide insights as to which factor contributes the most to happiness, and 2. To predict the score with the user's input values of the factors. With our DSS, we hope that users will be able to design and deliver public policies that raise happiness as much as the current policies raise the average income.
The dataset we have chosen is a World Happiness Report from Kaggle, and after cleaning it, we are using 7 of its columns. It contains a ladder score, which is the happiness score of a given country, and 6 predictors of the happiness score, which are the log GDP per capita, social support, healthy life expectancy, freedom to make life choices, generosity, and perceptions of corruption. This data helps us create a linear regression model to identify the best predictor of human happiness, and also produce a happiness score given values for the predictors. One of the limitations of the data is constant evolution. As the world keeps rapidly progressing, there may be unpredictable changes to the dataset. Another is limited number of predictors, since a resulting model cannot discover any other latent indicators due to lack of data. It will only be able to rank the 6 predictors in a decreasing order of impactfulness. Lastly, the data is multicollinear, as its predictors can impact one another. In the following slides, we will discuss a ridge regression model, as it is capable of analyzing multicollinear data.
In terms of models, we compared accuracies among different linear regression models such as simple multilinear regressions, and ridge regression turned out to have the best scores comparing the results against the test sets. And the outcome of our linear ridge regression model helps our end user who are interested in subjective well-being to identify the best predictors of happiness by providing a rank of features based on each factor impacts the happiness the most. And our model is pretty straightforward to implement and interpret the results for decision makers. And it's also time efficient to execute, as it does not involve any complicated calculations.
Hi there. This is a demo of a DSS that we created to understand how GDP, healthy life expectancy, generosity, social support, freedom, and corruption affect the happiness of a country as a whole. The UI was created using Streamlit, and this is the screen that you see when you run a file. At the top, you can see a welcome greeting along with a description of our team and the project. Following that are 6 scatter plots denoting how each of the factors individually affect the happiness scores. If we hover over the points, we can see their X and Y values. We can even download the plot as a PNG file or expand to see it more clearly. Following this, we have created an interactive section for the user where they can input the values of the factors and see the predicted happiness score. We have the option to pick a regression technique between standard and ridge linear regression. I will choose the ridge linear regression here. You can see that the predicted happiness score and the coefficient of determination have changed accordingly. The rankings of features section that you see here shows how much each factor impacts the happiness score. We can see that GDP has the highest impact, whereas generosity has the least impact. This section on the right here is where you enter the values for the factors. We have provided the 95% confidence intervals for each factor so that the user has an idea of what kind of inputs will produce reasonable results. I'm now going to enter some values for these factors within the confidence intervals to see the results. As you can see, we have a happiness score here that has updated based on the numbers that I just put in. Below that is the coefficient of determination of the chosen regression model. At the end here are some notes explaining the meaning of all the factors that are being used to predict happiness. This is the end of a demo. Thank you for listening.
This brings to the end of our presentation. Thank you.